On tonight's episode of MAFS, homestays are here. But before we get into it, if you love my reviews, hit that follow button and let's do this every night together. Dave and Punchy Paul were still in the doghouse after last night's commitment ceremony. Punchy Paul said, "I do regret bringing that up. Hearing that your trust has been broken was a hard pill to swallow, and it pissed me off a little bit hearing that." "Oh no, Punchy Paul's pissed off. Quick, someone hide the walls." Karina said, "Paul's upset, but there's only so long I can stay angry at him because I adore him." Ugh. I feel uncomfortable. Beth was anxious about taking the first boy home ever, while Ryan was brimming with excitement to show Jackie his samurai swords. I feel like Ryan should focus on getting a pen license or something before he goes playing with swords. Dave showed up to Jamie's apartment with flowers and said, "I'm willing to fight. My walls were up, but my feelings are there." Jamie said, "The trust has been severed. I don't really want to go to Melbourne with you and mesh our worlds together. 2 hours ago, I wanted to murder you with my bare hands." Don't sugarcoat it, Jamie. Say it how it is. Athena brought Adrian to her house in Perth and said that she couldn't see any reason that Adrian would want to stir the pot. Athena respectfully, "Have you met Adrian?" Adrian immediately goes off about Cleo. He's like, "I deserve an apology from Cleo. It's crazy that you can't see what she done to me." Athena was like, "Stop going on about the apology. If anyone deserves an apology, it's me." Karina and Punchy Paul put their problems aside so they could focus on family. Paul was moving in with Karina, who lives at home with her mum and dad, who are very religious, conservative, and strict. Karina's mum said they are married, but not in the eyes of the Lord. So until they work out what their future holds, they will be separated. Paul then found a crucifix by his bed, which was definitely a plant by Karina's mum. Jackie and the apprentice warrior went to stay at Jackie's place in Sydney, and Jackie wanted Ryan to consider moving to Manly, but not before she laid down the law. Jackie was upset with Ryan's beard, and Ryan was like, "Oh, you're being a child, Jackie. Stop being so condescending and judgmental." Jackie was like, "Ryan, I didn't bring you here to listen to your small brain bullshit. I'm giving you the opportunity to engage in diverse thinking." She then starts crying, and Ryan is like, "Oh, see, you always act like the victim." Punchy Paul said that he'd had the best sleep of the entire experiment, being in a separate bed to Karina. But they weren't the only couple that spent the night apart. Jamie and Dave spent the night in their own separate apartments in Melbourne. Dave was upset, Jamie was heartbroken, and it was so sad seeing these two be so lonely and sad. Karina and Punchy Paul sat down for lunch with Karina's family, and Karina's mum insisted on saying grace, asking God to shower the couple in his graces. She then asked Paul if he's religious, and he started stuttering. He's like, "Oh, well, you know, I'm not, but my parents, they are a little bit, and I'm very open-minded, you know, and I would be willing to try to do religion." That's great news, Paul, because you've certainly got a lot to chat about at confession. You could start by asking for forgiveness for punching the wall. Athena and Adrian then had lunch with Cleo, who accused their relationship of being fake. She asked Adrian if he would consider moving to Perth, and Adrian was like, "Oh, well, would she consider moving to Sydney?" Cleo said, "My nephew's life is in Perth." And he said, "Yeah, well, my life is in Sydney." Cleo then had a one-on-one chat with Adrian. Cleo said that she didn't agree with how aggressive Adrian's friend and family were. When Athena was clearly upset, she'd been crying. Adrian was like, "She hadn't been crying. Just because someone looks visibly upset doesn't mean that they're upset." Cleo said, "She'd been crying. She told me she'd been crying. And I know when my twin has been crying, Adrian." Adrian goes, "Yeah, well, you see it your way and I see it my way." Yeah, Adrian, Cleo sees the truth. And you just gaslight people with lies. Cleo goes, "Yeah, Adrian, I just feel like you're a chapter in her life, but you're not the ending." Poetic. Stunning. Meanwhile, Jackie and the apprentice warrior were fighting over whose decision it was to go and get flowers. They go to the florist, they select these flowers, and then they go up to pay. There's an awkward pause. No one is doing the reach. Eventually, the apprentice warrior very hesitantly hands over his card. Jackie was like, Ryan, you don't have to pay. But Ryan insists. Jackie then starts crying, and then they start hooking up in front of this poor florist. Jamie and Dave decided to meet up for lunch on the condition Jamie's sister Georgia could come. She was fully across the situation and was ready to get some answers from Dave. Georgia sits down and she's like, right, so Dave, you falling in love with Jamie or what? Dave said, I'm not falling in love with Jamie, but I definitely look forward to a future outside of the experiment. Georgia was like, whoa, that doesn't make sense. Do you not know instantly if you like someone or not? Dave said that he sees glimpses of romance, and Jamie was like, oh, well, that's grim. We've been here for 3 months. Georgia said, Dave, I think you love Jamie, but not in a romantic way. If you don't know by now, you're never gonna know. Dave said that he didn't want to give up because Jamie brings the best out of him in a way that he's never experienced before. Georgia was like, okay, but maybe this is a really good friendship, not a really good relationship. She was concerned that Jamie always has rose-colored glasses on and can convince herself that she's in a good situation when she's not. Dave said, I don't know about you, but I'm excited for more homestays tomorrow. If you love my reviews, hit that follow button and I'll be here same time, same place tomorrow night.